Wednesday, Brian.
It's time for ACC Central, presented by Just Means Less.
I drive into right. It's enough. It's back. And it's gone for the cycle. It's a walk-off grand slam. Florida State wins it.
Hosted by Monty Taylor.
In the air, center field. Moore is under it. And on to Omaha for the Cardinals.
Micah Butel.
Line ball driven into left field. Spin. Does he do it? He does. A walk-off homer by Ken Schmidt.
And Nick Dioli.
Gets it down. Here comes Mac. He is safe. And Boston College wins.
This ball off the plate for 2 balls, 2 strikes. Monty just got landed on.
There are 2 pigeons roosting right above me, and my can of Pepsi.
Smacked into right field. And
Welcome back, college baseball fans, to another episode of ACC Central. The boys are back. Nick Dioli there looking good. Meanwhile, Micah preparing to go out on the road to try and find Cotton Eye Joe once and for all. We're going to find out, where did he come from? Where did he go? Micah's on the case. Guys, how we doing?
Monty is cooking with lines tonight. Before we hopped on the show, he also fired off a banger. Monty, you are on it tonight, my friend. But I am good. So
Just to be clear, I fire off a lot of lines that do not work, and every once in a while I get a nice little hot streak, and I got to take advantage
beach balls
of it.
right now, Monty. That's all.
Yep. Nick?
Doing pretty good, boys. Doing pretty good.
Good. Well, Nick, I didn't hear from you, so I can only assume that you're excited about the 2 divisions we've got for the All-Star, our 3rd annual All-Star game.
Correct. I'm very excited. This is always so fun. You personally do a really good job at doing this. It's very, very fun.
I am way too excited about one of the particular names, but for those that are not aware, new listeners, new followers, this is our 3rd year doing this. We do a mid-season All-Star game because that's what, professional leagues do, right? So we normally wait till about the halfway mark in conference play. Right now we're about the mid-season mark of baseball overall. But the first year, we didn't have Cal and Stanford. We already had divisions in place with the Coastal and the Atlantic. Last year, they got rid of those. So what we did last year is Micah and I, before the season, drafted teams to, Team Micah and Team Monty. And then that's how those teams were divided. And there was a little bit of a misbalance there because some of the teams that we picked didn't have the best years. And they created a little bit of a misbalance there. But this time I was gonna originally just do a Coastal and Atlantic again, but I was driving and had a little bit of a brainstorm, and we've got 2 divisions and we've split the teams. I think they end up being pretty balanced, but based on team names is how they've been divided here. And I've got it underneath cycling there. We've got the human or maybe not division. That's going to be the Florida State Seminoles, the Virginia Cavaliers, the Duke Blue Devils, the Wake Forest Demon Deacons, the Stanford Cardinal, the Miami Hurricanes, Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, and Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And then the name I'm really excited about, Birds with the Fur. That's Bird Ball, the Louisville Cardinals, Virginia Tech Hokies, NC State Wolfpack, UNC Tar Heels, Pitt Panthers, and Clemson Tigers, and the Cal Golden Bears. How could I forget? Birds with the Fur. I'm very impressed with that. That might have been the beginning of my hot streak, Micah.
I do have one complaint though, because a Tar Heel doesn't have fur.
Do goats not have fur?
It's not fur.
Ramses?
It's not fur, guys.
Goats and rams have
made out of wool? A ram. It's wool, but Monty.
I didn't. It's funny because there were
well. I just wanted to. Again, You're seeing beach balls right now. I got to throw you an off-speed pitch in the dirt to at least keep you on your toes, you know?
Well, if I needed to, we could make a switch there. UNC helps with the balance, but we could switch UNC out for the Ibis at Miami.
You could.
But I feel like
that's a human. I don't care. Just leave it the way it is. I think you did fine.
Also, it really bailed out by Stanford. The Cardinal is a color. It is not, that's the reason why it's not plural.
And if you know their history, it also kind of works in the human category. So
exactly. So, but yeah, that's going to be the divisions, and I think it ends up kind of splitting up there. We're going to have voting in a couple of weeks. That that's how it ends up shaking out. I'll be doing some Google Forms that people will be able to fill out and vote for their players, and we'll have our home run derby conversation and our mid-season all-star selection show. And it's normally a lot of fun, right, guys?
Oh yeah,
really fun.
Yeah. I will say there's going to be a ton of snubs just because we found out, I think in the preseason when we drafted teams, we drafted 2 teams. I think there were 52 to 54 players on selected, and there was still about 25 to 30 players that were probably deserving of being preseason all-stars. So, there's going to be, Georgia Tech's starting lineup is not all going to be all-stars. So you've got some snubs there.
Monty hates Georgia Tech. Start the narrative.
No, I don't. They know how much I love them. So, but yeah, so that's the cool, exciting news. I was really excited to share with everybody. I'm just really proud of my Birds with the Fur. I started singing a made up song. The ACC with them sneaky northern teams. The whole league looking at her. Yeah, so
She hit the chuck. She hit the chuck. She hit the chuck.
So yeah, we'll have that in a couple weeks. Obviously, stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, let's get started on talking some weekend baseball. We've got a big one right off the bat, and obviously because of Easter, we have 5 Thursday through Saturday series and 3 Friday through Sunday series. So we're going to start with a top 10 matchup. This is the first top 10 matchup on the grounds at the University of Virginia since 2013, Micah.
Wow.
Which I was surprised to learn because I thought for sure that had happened more recently. One of the more top 10 ones I remember is 2022, but that was at the Light when Virginia went down to Miami and they got swept. Obviously, we all remember that Virginia didn't even end up being a regional host team that year. They were the 2 seed in the Greensville regional with East Carolina, but they were a top 10 team at one point during the year and went down to the Light, and that's probably where their season kind of flipped a little bit. But yeah, Florida State and Virginia. Wes Mendez leads the ACC in ERA, and the guy who's in second is on Virginia, Lucas Hartman. And if you're wondering why that's a bit of a surprise, it's normally relievers have not yet qualified to with the innings to normally be in the contention at this point of the season. But Lucas Hartman has pitched in like 16 of 33 games or something like that, or 16 of 28 games now, 27 games, whatever it is. But he is second in the ACC in ERA as a reliever. So yeah, fun fact, the 2 ERA leaders going head to head this weekend. Wes Mendez back, looking good, really, really good. We're going to see this Florida State offense does without Miles Bailey. Who wants to go first talking about this series?
I guess I'll go. Right, you look at not for both teams, but I think there is a major statement to be made for both teams, considering how Virginia's weekend went, obviously previously, losing that series to BC Bird Ball. And then on the Florida State side, even though, they did take that series with Duke, again, they're 0-1 in ACC play without Miles Bailey. So there is some question marks there about the lineup and how they're going to go. Monty, I'm assuming you watched a little bit of their game last night because I'm sure you were just as intrigued as I was to kind of see what they might look like. And everything on my end I didn't notice anything too crazy, but at the same time, again, it is a midweek, but I think to beat Stetson, considering everything, pretty impressive, especially on the road and a pretty good environment down there in DeLand. But again, for me, it's really going to come down to, can Virginia get to Florida State's bullpen? I think if Florida State's that rotation can go 6 to 7 innings throughout the game each day, right? You're going to run into a situation where I think, Florida State's obviously got enough of a bullpen to hold that down. And, on the Virginia side of things, like, not that the starting pitching has been terrible, but comparatively to Florida State, it's not the same caliber so far this year. So I think, again, can Virginia hit on the road? Again, we saw it, the ball's going to fly a little bit more at Dick Hauser in Charlottesville. I don't know why I said Dick Hauser. Than it did at BC Bird Ball. But can Virginia hit, the Florida State pitching?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see which Trey Beard shows up. Yeah, I think that's a big factor. Obviously, if we've seen Trey Beard be one of the best pitchers in the conference one weekend and then get chased another weekend pretty early. So it's going to be interesting to see which Trey Beard shows up. Obviously, it's going to be fun to see old friend of the program, Bryson Moore, on Saturday in this case. But what's do you want to wait on giving your prediction and let Nick talk a little bit about the series first, or do you want to give your series prediction here?
I usually normally do our series prediction before, don't we? Like before the next person talks. So,
see, the problem Mike is having here is he does not want to pick UVA. That's the internal struggle here.
You know what? I'm still pretty in on Florida State, and they haven't done anything minus a freak injury to really change my mind. So I'll say Florida State takes 2 of 3.
Wow. Going on the road and proving that Miles Bailey is replaceable. Wow. Nick, before you go, I'm going to share Dom, Listy, and Kaylee have shared their picks already because I went ahead and got them beforehand. They both went with UVA at home, 2 out of 3. Nick?
I am going to join Dom and Kaylee for Virginia 2 out of 3. I would like to see how Florida State responds losing Miles Bailey. I want to see how that lineup is going to shake out. I do think Florida State has the better pitching, but minus Miles Bailey, and I know Virginia has some great starters. They're up and down, but they've looked pretty good. Overall, the BC series does hurt, but I think Virginia's due to kind of bounce back from that BC series. And I think they're kind of, I wouldn't say desperate, but they kind of need to bounce back. And Florida State, I just kind of want to see how they handle all of this. It's a sucky loss. Miles was going to be, up there with Golden Spikes and ACC Player of the Year. How do you replace that? So let's see how they do up in Charlottesville. So I'll play the safe bet and take Virginia 2 of 3.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see offensively. Obviously, Braden Dowd, Eli Putnam, Hunter Carnes, number of guys are going to have to step up and produce and bear a little bit more of the offensive responsibility. I thought there was a chance that Micah would go with Florida State because, again, he does not like picking Virginia unless, he has to, a.k.a. when they're playing Wake Forest.
Is that the only time you pick Virginia, Micah?
Yeah, right.
I think it might be.
I do think, though. I know, obviously, yes, there is some superstition to all this. I'm not gonna lie to you and say there's not. But for example, if this was Virginia versus Notre Dame, I'd actually pick Virginia. I think Florida State has enough to prove. Again, I do think I believe that Virginia is less susceptible, to kind of having the back-to-back series losses, and maybe I feel like they've had in the past. I think just maybe it's a Pollard thing. Maybe it's just, again, I do think that there's been the lineup for Virginia this year clearly can hit it home. That is what, Monty, I really enjoyed your tweet yesterday where it was everyone questioning whether Virginia is the team we saw in BC. I mean, I know obviously it was a midweek, but
right, but
Old Dominion, it was glorified batting practice at the Dish yesterday. So
they needed that. Sam Harris in particular.
Correct. So again, I do think Virginia is going to have some success comparatively to what they had against BC, but this is maybe one of the worst matchups they could have gotten, to be honest. This might be a crazy take, Monty, but in a part of me kind of goes, I'd rather them play Georgia Tech this weekend, because if it came down to a slugfest, who knows what can happen there. I kind of trust Virginia being able to do that, but the way Florida State's able to trot out arms on a more consistent basis now, we think Georgia Tech might have some stuff going for them on the mound now, but I think we'd be lying if we said that we trust Georgia Tech's arms more than Florida State's right now. So I think from that standpoint, like, it's just a bad matchup for Virginia. And again, I think Florida State too has something to prove because of what happened. I mean, I don't know if y'all listen to other like Division I baseball podcasts, but like a couple of different shows I listened to were all asking the same question I was asking on our show. Like, what is Florida State without Miles Bailey? Are they actually like a Omaha caliber team without arguably the best player in the country, or one of the best players in the country on your roster? Well, one way to prove it is by beating a top 15 team, top 10 team at home, or at their home, excuse me. So I think I'm gonna lean. And again, I have in my power rankings from the beginning had Florida State higher than Virginia. So I've always thought Florida State was more talented than Virginia. So I'm just gonna keep riding that wave, and superstition will help with that case as well.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone was paying attention at home, but I actually ceded my time to Micah. That's why he got extra time on that answer, because I actually ceded my time. I didn't realize it. Okay. I didn't realize it either, but apparently I did. I'm going.
It's only like, Monty, we actually have not less games to preview, but like we can probably get through these a little bit faster as like the games lose meaning, air quotes, So, but okay, go ahead.
Every series has meaning to me.
Yeah, I think a lot of these series are really good. But anyway, I'm taking Florida State 2 out of 3 as well. I picked Virginia last week. It didn't go right. We're trying something different. Micah mentioned superstitions. We're trying that. Also, again, it just feels like this is Virginia's series, and yet that doesn't sit right with me. I think Florida State, everyone's kind of questioning them, and I think they're going to take a little bit of offense to that. And I think they're going to have, some guys play well. So I think it's going to be a tightly contested series that can go either way at certain points. It's just going to, I think, ultimately go Florida State's way, but I'm not going to be surprised one way or the other. I think there's going to be some ups and downs.
Like your power rankings.
Well, except for Georgia Tech, who is just sat at number 1 the whole time. Or number 16, depending on how you look at the graph. Notre Dame at NC State. Jack Riddell and Ryan Marone might be the premier pitching matchup of the weekend on Friday. I think there's 3 or 4 of those. I think I might have to do a poll on that. But those two going head-to-head. Both teams were swept last weekend. Both teams need this series. I think one team kind of needs it more. Notre Dame, obviously, I think avoiding being swept would be huge, but I think NC State, if they lose this series, you start hitting the panic button. Nick, we're going to start with you and your Wolfpack. What are we doing here, buddy?
Well, yesterday they didn't look good. The pitching was not.
They did have the lead in the 9th.
They did. I know.
Liberty is a good team, to be fair, as
they
well.
Are
Liberty,
a good team. I'll give Liberty credit. They are a good team.
Yeah, 4th place in the Conference USA. That's exactly who you want to be compared to right now, NC State.
Where's their RPI?
I think 30-something, 40-something.
Which is pretty good for a 4th place team in the Conference USA.
41.
Which is pretty good for the 4th place team in the Conference USA, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Micah just wanted to just rain on somebody's parade already, but Liberty, decent squad. They are currently 4th place, but
and technically they're actually tied for 2nd, but in the standings they're listed 4th. So
okay. I watched them absolutely wallop FIU yesterday.
Actually, they're 4th place in RPI in the Conference USA. So suck it, Monty.
That is a bit of a surprise, but 41 is still pretty impressive. But
shout out to Missouri State, Jacksonville State, DBU.
Oh, that makes sense.
DBU,
that
Kennesaw State comes in above them. Excuse me.
Missouri State and Jacksonville State being ahead of them makes sense.
Makes sense. Makes a lot of
it's
sense.
hard to, with some of this conference realignment, as we found out the other day when I called somebody incorrectly Conference USA. It was a UTSA that I said was incorrectly. Yeah. With all this conference realignment, it's hard to keep track of who's where. So, but now knowing that Missouri State and Jacksonville State are in that, that makes sense. But go ahead, Nick, before Micah steals more of our time.
I know. I've been doing this with him for so long. I still can't just get around from Micah. Just
He's got thoughts.
I've been so good the last couple of weeks, and I'm just in a different mood tonight. I'm the old.
we gotta unleash it. We got some more rants coming up.
No, like you said, Monty, this is a very desperate series for both of these teams. I'm trying my darndest to go to Friday night, so I might be boots on the ground there for
Duden.
What's that?
I was just making sure because of the weird formats. I wanted to make sure Friday night meant game 2, and you're on the right. You were right. I'm just making sure we're all on the same page.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try my darndest to get there. If it was at 7, I'd be like, yeah, 6. It's like cutting it close for me to get out of work, but we'll see. Anyway,
again, real quick. Sorry to interrupt, but the triangle teams. I know it's not really up to you, but at some point, like if we could stagger some of those times, that would be
Except
great.
it is up to you. If you're not on national TV, it is 100% up to you.
Thank you, Micah, for letting us know that, because I wasn't sure. I didn't want to blame them if I was wrong.
On national TV. Okay. I mean, again, obviously, like other teams on your campus,
there's guidelines as well, right? There's guidelines that you have to fit in.
Obviously, like you're probably not going to play a Sunday at 8:00 because of travel or something,
right? And you certainly aren't going to let Cal play at 6 a.m. their time.
Especially most of these teams, right. Most of these teams play. Like they get in the night before. Like they get there and they practice the night before. So like they can't be like, oh, we can't play Friday at 2:00. Well, why? The team's been like they went to bed at 10:00 in their hotel room.
Yep. Or should have.
Like the Saturday ones are what quick rant because we want rants.
Right.
The Saturday ones are what bother me. Like, why is everybody playing at 1:00 on a Saturday? Like, you don't want to like potentially play like 6 or 4 or noon, like stagger it. I mean, again, I know you don't go, I wonder what my rival school's doing for your game times.
But I'm looking at it.
But yes, obviously I come from the guy that likes to travel to games approach. So my brain's always like, well, this could have been so perfect, yada, yada, yada. But it's like, it's really not that hard. Like, I mean, this weekend alone, like, if you're North Carolina, especially coming into the season, you probably would have assumed that BC wasn't going to be what they are. Now it's out. But, like, why is that not at noon? And then, hey, like Duke, Louisville, that kind of gave off, like, pretty big matchup for Duke. Play at 7. Play at 6. Like, it just – I mean, like, 1:00, 2:00, 2:00 is your Saturday. Like – and that one makes a little bit more sense, I guess, because it's the Easter travel day.
Yeah, but they do this on most Saturdays.
This is not like this is like the one-off weekend where we're ranting just a rant. So
I love that Mike is doing this for me because he's not the one that benefits from or gets a disservice here. But every time I always look, and the only times I've gotten lucky is when there's some weather that actually, like I think it was the weather forced a UVA North Carolina doubleheader. So all of a sudden, my Sunday opened up, and then Notre Dame and Duke had to play because they didn't have the staffing to move it to Saturday with basketball. And so I was able to squeeze in an extra game, but that's not normally the case. But yeah, I'm hoping to go, I think, to the Friday night game as well, Nick. I'm still up in the air on what order and what games I'm going to after the, obviously, UVA game on Thursday. But yeah, Nick, continue talking about your Notre Dame, NC State take here.
Well, it's a desperate series for both teams, and I do think it's a little bit more desperate for NC State. And this is kind of like my last ride with them. Like they have to get this done, right? They have to, be relevant. This team wants to host. This team wants to, like, they're right now as we sit, everyone's kind of feeling like, ooh, State. The way they're playing, they could miss regionals altogether,
which is wild. They were a top 10 team a couple weeks ago, right? Which we all agreed maybe that was too high. But this was their first 0-4 week since 2009, which is their last losing season.
Yeah. So, and it's just hard to imagine when you have 2 studs back to back going for you in your rotation. Like, I'm going to go State here just because it's at home, and I feel like home is going to benefit them a lot. They've been on the road for so long right now. It really does remind me a little bit of the BC series where I think home is going to benefit you a little bit. You are more talented on paper, so like go prove it, get it done. I think we're going to see a lot of good pitching though in this series. I think Jack Riddell is going to be awesome. I think Ty Uber is going to be awesome. State's got to figure out their Sunday guy. They continue to struggle with that. But I'll go State 2 of 3 just because it's at home and they really, really need this.
Yeah, I like that. For me, I really want to go Notre Dame, so I think I'm going to go Notre Dame. But I can see pretty much any result, like from Notre Dame sweep to NC State sweep. I could see any of those results happening, as well as obviously either one winning 2 of 3. Riddell and Marone on Thursday is going to be a toss-up. Duden obviously has the edge on Saturday, right? But the offense has been struggling a lot. So It's going to be interesting to see. And then Ty Uber has had some really good moments for Notre Dame. And then so I really don't know which way to go. And I think just because I have a feeling with the way the graphic's going to go that I kind of want to go with Notre Dame because I believe in Notre Dame as a tournament team. Notre Dame needs to avoid at all costs getting swept. Mm-hmm. I think they can survive a losing weekend in terms, if they're able to have better results down the road. But NC State losing the series is pretty catastrophic.
Because if Notre Dame is swept, then the narrative is that Clemson series really did mean nothing. And like some people were already saying that, not the three of us, we kind of pushed back on that after they got swept at home against North Carolina. So they would really need to avoid that, or else it was kind of just all for nothing. And they would have to really dig themselves out of this deep hole.
Yeah. I do feel really good about the Irish scoring 22 runs on a really good North Carolina team. Pitching staff, but the wind is not going to be the same assistance, I would imagine, in Raleigh as it was in South Bend over the last weekend. So that might be a factor. But I'm going to take Notre Dame. I don't feel necessarily great about it, but that's where I'm going to go. Micah, what are your thoughts here on this series?
I disagree with you guys. I think this is a bigger series for Notre Dame than it is for NC State. I think it's big for both teams, obviously, but like if you told me like which one needs this series more, I would argue Notre Dame. Obviously, I think from a sweep standpoint, I think it is more detrimental to NC State if they got swept, actually, because that would be their 14th loss of the season. They'd be 18-14. That would mean 10 straight losses. Like everyone would write them off. Though obviously, I agree from the Notre Dame standpoint, the NC State standpoint that Nick was going about, like if Notre Dame loses this series, like, again, exactly what you said is going to happen, Nick. They're going to go, well, the only thing here is Clemson. They have a series loss to Louisville. They have the series loss, down the road. And you look at it, Notre Dame is 15-9. So if they lose this series, let's say, we'll assume they don't get swept, they're 16-11. That's not a very good spot to be in April. Like they've played less games than most teams because of cancellations, because of other things like.
But one of those losses to the defending national champion, one of those losses is to a ranked UCF team. They played a really tough non-conference schedule to begin the year. I mean, your point still stands. It's not a good place to be in April. They'd still have to take care of business, but I just wanted to – it's not like they played –
Your wins, if you are Notre Dame, if you lose this weekend. RPI of 125 FAU, 2 of 3. Yeah, RPI of 107 Indiana in extra innings. RPI of 305 Alabama A&M. RPI of 272 UIC. RPI of 248 Tennessee Tech. Want me to continue? 200, 200, 200, 200, 200. Like
we get that Micah is an RPI whore and nothing else matters.
It's not like
it's every time we talk, it's all RPI. We gotta.
Have you looked at the committee? Virginia got left out last year, Monty, because of their RPI.
Well, they got left out.
That's not my decision. I don't make the call. I don't pick up the phone and say their RPI is not very good. Don't put them in.
I just really wanted to say RPI whore. It's a fun. I just like the word whore, to be honest. But
the Notre Dame Fighting Irish have only one series win over a team in the RPI top 50, and that would be Clemson, who everyone thinks stinks.
Wait, one win, right? Not series win, just one win?
Series wins.
Okay. Yeah.
Even then, actually, no. That's the only wins they've got, I think.
Because Louisville's not in the top 50. Duke's not in the top 50.
Nope. Louisville is 68. Duke is 110.
Yeah, that Louisville series is huge. Not pulling out that series is gonna be huge.
That's why I think Notre Dame is more desperate for a series win because they need something to hang their hat on besides Clemson. Because that is not the hat I want to hang right now. Like I don't want to. We beat Clemson. Cool, man. They're 19-10. Like maybe Clemson figures it out and that'll be their saving grace. But like, it's just they need something on their resume. And again, they did that at home. Like doing it on the road at NC State. And NC State, and you look at the two teams' schedules remaining too. Like
Notre Dame's is a lot
harder.
What we especially what we expected.
Yeah,
we thought the last three series on their schedule we thought were going to be really easy because it was BC, Pitt, and somebody else, Stanford, and BC and Pitt obviously not what we thought.
But again, right now the remaining ACC series is ranked at NC State. Ranked Virginia at home, ranked at Florida State, ranked BC at home, Stanford, and then Pitt, who, again, I think all of us here are at the bare minimum considering ranking them. Like
they're getting very close.
Yeah, so like that schedule
Nick's
is
like, whoa, me.
And like in a way, it's a confidence thing. Like I'm not saying the Notre Dame team will quit if they lose this series, but like there's got to be again something that you do that you're like, hey, like we have this.
We will say they've done a lot better. They've had first half issues, right? And they've done a lot better than they have in years past.
So again, there is the argument, right? Because NC State has obviously lost 7 in a row. Like I think if NC State gets swept, again, like if you like rank it, like NC State getting swept, is the biggest alarm bell. But then it's Notre Dame getting swept, Notre Dame losing series, and NC State losing series. Like if I had to power rank the 4 results that they have, like it's just for me again. I am also going to pick Notre Dame, Monty.
I was wondering we were going to get to a pick.
I think this team is desperate. I don't like what I'm seeing from NC State.
It's bad.
Like it's funny to me. I've always was known as the Wake Forest hater. Maybe I'm just now become the NC State hater. But like.
How much is that
this week?
How much of that is to spite Nick?
That's probably true, actually.
Probably a lot. I get hate my guts.
But like
Micah would actually love both NC State and Wake Forest if it weren't for Nick.
It does scare me that NC State has that series win over BC at home because I do feel like NC State plays better baseball at home.
I think that was part of that was also BC losing it. I saw them put traffic on all Sunday, and they were 0 for 13 with guys on base, and that's before Carter Hendrickson came back. That's while Larson was slumping. Wolf was bad.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they do obviously play better at home. They obviously have that Friday night win with Marone on the mound. It's just such a tricky series, I think, to predict. But I've locked you in.
Yeah, lock me in Notre Dame 2-3.
So
I also made Micah a bigger hater of Virginia Tech because I think he's wrong for ranking him last. So your Virginia Tech hatred just went through the roof.
I'll allow it. Louisville at Duke, staying in the triangle here. Louisville pitching to Duke, and Duke, it's going to be Weaver and Danilowicz on Thursday night. Should be another good, fun pitching matchup there. Louisville needs it. By the way, just to finish out the NC State Notre Dame picks, Kaylee went with Notre Dame, Dom went with NC State, so we have another fairly even 3-2 ratio there. They both went with Duke in this series at home. I'm going to start with Micah this time. Let him talk about his Louisville Cardinals and how he's feeling about them going into Duke, because Duke is a team that if you can't put them away, it's going to be a problem.
And what is Louisville doing a really bad job of doing right now?
Putting teams away.
A part of me, selfishly, wants Duke to win the series because I can start to like put to bed my idea that Louisville's going to turn it around.
That's true. Well, what's funny though too is also like the optimism you've had this year for Louisville versus the negativity you had about UVA all last year. One of those is your true team, and one of them is your adopted team, and you can tell the difference in how you felt throughout the year because you put UVA to bed after opening weekend.
But I am going to do this for my boys. I am picking Louisville to get it done because I am going to see you in 2 weeks, and I want to be seeing you when you are riding high ready to turn. You've started to right the ship in ACC play. On paper, the more talented team. I want to think that like Louisville is still gritty. They have not gone away from that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Pitt series does frustrate me because that one felt like that's the one you should have had. Like, again, only taking one against North Carolina. I have no shame in that. You took a series against a good Notre Dame team. Like, you've kind of done your job. You've had 2 really bad weekends, or 3, I guess, because the opening weekend was pretty bad too.
Yeah,
but,
Michigan State was bad.
Yeah. So you're more, I mean, I guess I feel like Louisville's more desperate too.
Yeah. I mean, Duke's playing with the Duke.
Yeah, I mean, RPI wise, they're 30 spots behind Duke. They're obviously, you know, the expectations were much higher for Louisville.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, give me Louisville 2 or 3. I'm going to believe that they're going to figure it out and just
By the way,
put some teams away, and by teams I mean Duke.
Oh man, I love that. I'm picking Louisville. I think I just a thing that I don't want to overthink it. I'm just going to pick Louisville. No overthinking it. I'm just
actually like that idea. That's kind of my brain too. I'm not going to overthink it. My brain said Louisville right off the bat. Don't overthink it.
By the way, checking the initial injury report. Let's see here. Zion Rose is not listed on the injury report for this weekend.
He's back.
So take that as you will. He's not listed as questionable or probable. He's not on it at all, which should suggest he's ready to roll. I know there was some talk about him possibly pinch hitting last week, so that's huge. So just wanted to throw that out there for that. For Duke, no surprises really on theirs. It's the same guys: Cider Cannon, Nolan Johnson, Nate Brattain out, Matthew Nachowitz still questionable. Ben Petrone is the probable. So just you guys were wondering. So I'm going Louisville 2 out of 3, especially if Zion Rose is back, because that offense is good when he's not there. It's elite when he is there, and it's going to be interesting. But Duke is going to fight, and they're going to make Louisville earn it. And I just think Louisville is going to earn it and change the narrative a bit. I think the pitching's still going to struggle because I don't see why it wouldn't. But you know, maybe they just win a couple of shootouts. But Nick, hit me with your best shot.
Your best shot. I knew that was coming. I could be a week early on this, but I feel like this is the time where Duke is going to start playing spoiler for these teams. And
if they start playing spoiler and winning series, they're going to be in the postseason, Nick. If they play spoiler,
well, if they continue to be like up and down and like win a series you don't expect, but then like you're kind of high on them and they lose a series you don't expect, right?
Yeah.
I feel like we are crossing that threshold because Duke. I mean, I picked Florida State to sweep Duke. I think somebody else did too. I can't remember who was of the two of you, but they were in that series.
I don't ever pick sweep, so I think it was Micah.
Okay. They were in that series on the road and went run for run, blow for blow, pitch for pitch with Florida State.
Oh man, all you do is talk about of Duke when they lost the series to Florida State. God, you're such a homer.
I know.
Didn't talk about Florida State. Just kidding.
But Duke plays a lot better, I think, at home as well. I mean, they gave Notre Dame a ride. They beat Miami 2 out of 3. Zion, that almost convinced me to go with Louisville, but I'm going to ride Duke with an upset here. I think they are going to start playing spoiler for some teams now.
Is it an upset if the home team has the better record in RPI?
I think it's an upset.
Wait. Okay. I thought you said Louisville had a better RPI like 10 minutes ago.
No, they're 30 spots back of Duke.
Okay. I misheard you. Then maybe it's not an upset.
I think it's an upset based on the odds, which we don't know. I don't know what they are.
Yeah, I don't know.
And Micah legally can't know. So
I
know. I was making a joke. So, but yeah, it should be a fun one. I'm excited about that one. That one might be the one that I don't go to just because of the lack of staggered times. But all right, our second ranked matchup of the weekend. We got number 22 Bird Ball at number 6 North Carolina. The Tar Heels are back, looking like one of the, possibly the most complete team in the conference. They're back, I think, to number 3 in my power rankings. Looking pretty good, boys. Looking pretty good because the offense came to life in South Bend, and then Caden Glover and Cam Seagraves were electric. And then last night, just casually, they pull some guy named Jackson Rose out of the depths of wherever they get their arms from, and he just casually just goes scoreless for as long as they needed him to, with whatever it was, 5 innings or something in relief last night. Something bonkers. So yeah, North Carolina. I think this is going to be really fun. 2 really good pitching staffs. I think it's going to be a fun series. But I'm going to let Nick talk first about his North Carolina Tar Heels.
They've looked really, really good.
Are you picking them?
This team is looking more and more complete every week. The pitching's been great. The batting's been great. But bird ball. Does anybody remember?
I feel like your brain's saying one thing and your heart's going bird ball.
Does anybody remember the last time bird ball went down to Chapel Hill?
Was it 2023 when they won? I will say I know the last time they played North Carolina because it was the game that made AJ Colarusso a legend.
It was 2023. They did make, I believe they were 1 spot away from actually hosting regionals that year, theoretically, based on the seedings.
We'll never know.
And they went down to Chapel Hill and they swept.
I will say that the BC team, similar to the 2023 team, I don't think the UNC team this year is quite on the same level. I think they're better than the 2023 North Carolina team. But
I just like to reminisce, you know.
Yeah, as a North Carolina fan, I'm sure you do.
Of course, yeah. Talk about the glory days.
Love that. That was a good poll.
Thank you. But Monty, you do make a good point, and the levels of how good North Carolina is based on what that 2023 team was. I think it is just a little bit too much, and North Carolina is riding really, really high right now. Not to say BC is not, they are. But I think there is going to be a little bit of a talent gap here. It's at Chapel Hill. They're all it's going to be a big, big time crowd. In a close series, I'm going to go UNC.
And you wrote down, you had me write down BC because I thought you had so I had to just erase it. We're good. I got UNC on your thing for the graphic.
UNC after the whole spiel about you.
Yeah, that's why I wrote down BC. He pulled the not so fast, Mike, my friend. Not so fast, my friend.
Don't start. You've done that before.
I've done it before too. It's a lot of fun.
All 3 of us have done that before.
I'm gonna keep it short and sweet and to the point.
Caca.
North Carolina sweep.
Oh no!
Oh, okay.
The Burnerverse is going to get Micah, and I cannot wait.
Yeah, when they win Friday night, BC wins Friday night. My mentions, or Thursday night, excuse me. Muted.
I'm gonna take BC.
One of us has to, right?
Yeah, I'm going to take BC. I obviously I'm all in on them and I believe in them, but obviously last week I did not do well picking Virginia in that series. So we're going to try BC. Ultimately, if it's a superstition thing and I have to pick against BC, oops, my bad. This could go either way. I don't think they're getting swept. I think they've played too well to do that. I think the pitching is real. Obviously, you'd like to have Gavin Suarez completely healthy and ready, but I think Brady Miller on Sunday is going to be the dude. I think that's at least one possible win there, and then all you need is an AJ masterclass, and what he did last year was pretty great. But on the flip side, you need to score some runs, so they're going to need some of their Todd Ball and Devil Magic. So I'm going to go BC here, 2 out of 3. I'm going to get crap for this because I have picked against UNC a bunch recently, and I wanted to pick them this week, but I guess I'm just going to keep the trend going, and they've done well when I haven't picked them apparently. So yeah. All right, Wake Forest at Pitt. Wake Forest right now I believe is leading their non-conference game against Clemson by a lot to a little. just to clarify or shout out Dom and Kaylee's picks for the last one. Dom Listy picked UNC. Kaylee picked BC Bird Bowl. She is a Massachusetts native, so I think she legally has to pick BC.
And she went to Duke, so I think she legally has
to. yeah. And then all half the team that was at Duke is at UVA, so then she has to pick that. But anyway, Wake Forest is who Dom Listy and Kaylee both went with on this one. I don't know who to start with because I'm pretty sure Micah is going to give us something good here.
You can start with me because I would like Micah to rant.
Yeah,
but
go ahead.
I don't think Micah knows where I'm going here.
Well, now we do, because if you tell us it's going to be a surprise, we know what the surprise is.
Guys, that Wake Forest bullpen is so decimated. Those Pitt bats are on fire.
They just scored 27 runs.
Yeah. Wake, they lost last night. The bats were so dead against High Point. They're shellacking Clemson right now, so that's a positive sign. But they got to get on a bus, spend the night in West Virginia, and then go to Pitt for 3 days. Their only pitcher in the bullpen who's not a freshman is Zach Johnson, because Will Ray, I believe, is still out. I believe
that would make sense. Unfortunately, hamstrings take a hot second. So
yeah, they do, and it's the same. I think it's the same one. So
Yep. I just felt so bad because I was so excited to see him pitch, and then he pulls it in warmups, and the SID turns to me and yells at me because I am a pox on Wake Forest.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Pitt 2 of 3 here.
Wow.
The only way I think, and I don't know if they're gonna do it, I think they're gonna give Bagwell one more shot Friday.
I think Bagwell did well. I think it was other than that.
I think he did too. I think
first inning
after that first inning, I think he settled in.
I mean, what's the difference between what he did and what Ryan Marone did against Georgia Tech? And Ryan Marone doesn't get any flack for giving up the 3 runs and then settling in and dominating for 6 innings.
Well, I think because Marone is an established guy.
That's true. That's fair. But yeah. But it's a very similar outings that the first inning got jumped on. But yeah, love the pick.
Yeah. The only way I was going to finish with is the only way I think Wake could win this. I think if Bagwell struggles, you got to move Lavonis to the Friday night role. You got to start these series off with a win. And they've done this before. When Josh Hartle struggled 2 years ago, they moved Chase Burns from Saturday to Friday, and it worked out really well.
And I think well before the point of the season than this one was. I think it only took a couple of weeks.
We'll see. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think Walt's going to make that move. I think he's going to give Bagwell another shot on Friday. But
thanks for reminding me. One of my favorite moments from 2023 was the ACC opener between Wake and Duke. And it was Santucci versus Hartle, and there were about 55 MLB scouts in attendance, and both pitchers shat the bed. And then the next night, because of basketball, there was nobody there except for me and Tyler Jennings, and it was Chase Burns dominating in his first ACC start. And I was laughing because I was all the MLB scouts missed the guy who by the way, just threw 5 shutout the other day against the Pirates. So. Or was it the Red Sox? Can't remember who. Yeah, but Micah might surprise us. What if Micah goes Wake Forest?
What if Micah in a twist? Micah's going.
That's what he's doing. Look at his face. That's what he's doing, isn't it?
Wake is going to throw a no hitter. That bullpen's going to lock it down.
Boys, have you learned nothing from Pitt baseball so far this year? Have you learned nothing?
I probably have learned nothing.
Probably not, because I don't know where you're going with this now.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a good chance I've learned nothing based on what you're about to tell me.
You know what the Pitt Panthers have struggled with this season?
Wake Forest.
Teams that can hit. And that's why I'm taking Pitt to sweep.
I was going to say, wait, Louisville can hit.
It was a joke because there really was no storyline there. I just wanted to keep you guys.
You just wanted to mess with us. I was trying to figure out. was a good one. April Fools.
And though actually, I'm not going to say 6-3, but I only did because I didn't want to be like Nick, but Pitt 2-3 is what I actually think. So we'll say Pitt 2-3. But I kind of wanted the dramatic effect.
Thank good for Dom and Kaylee because I'm also picking Pitt. So,
well, it was funny because when you had read off the two, like their two picks to start, Nick's face was like,
yeah,
I was like, uh-oh, because like I already knew I was picking Pitt. I knew you were picking Pitt, Monty, because you don't wear a team you're not going to pick normally on the thing. So I was like, he's got to be leading Pitt.
BC being the exception last week, and even then I switched it just for the pick, and then switched back. But no, yeah.
Historically,
I did pick Louisville earlier in the show.
Or did you?
Yeah. You're right. You're not wrong that I normally do that, but I've messed with that theory. But I'm going with Pitt. If this was at the couch, I'd feel a lot better about Wake Forest. But this just screams Pitt's weekend to make a statement and announce their arrival on the national stage. If last week was BC doing it, this week is Pitt's. And obviously, if Micah's right, then BC's parade's about to get rained on. But
historically, I feel like Wake has struggled at Pitt. I mean, I think the 2024 Nick Kurtz team lost up there, and I think 2023 they lost a pretty bad. I mean, they ended up killing Pitt in the next two games, but they lost a 1-0 game in 2023.
I am searching.
It's not a walk in the park.
Wow, it already took me to 2024. That was nice. Wake Forest, where are you? Oh, they played Wake Forest in 2024. Wait, I was looking for Wake Forest on their own schedule. That's probably why they didn't play them, because they are Wake Forest. Let me just double check. No, Wake Forest and Pitt did not play in 2024, so
maybe it was 25. I don't know.
I do think that they lost the opening game. Because I remember it was Pitt that won the game, like the only team that beat the 2023 team on a Friday night, isn't it?
Yeah, it was like a 1-0 game or something.
Yeah, and they did the same thing the next year to Florida State when they beat Jamie Arnold. Let me see. All right,
and that was on the road, was it not? That was in Florida State.
No, it was not. It was in Pitt. Was the 2024 one? But I'm looking at 2023 Wake Forest to see if we are correct here.
But I think they outscored Pitt in that series like 40-5.
They lost 3-0 at Pitt.
Hey, the good thing is
Rhett Lauder, I think, was off that day.
The good thing is Pitt only needs to score 3 runs against Wake Forest to tie the same amount of runs they scored last week total. So for the whole week. So, no big deal or anything.
Yeah, wild.
So their 27-3 win last night. Good grief.
All right. Another, by the way, the Wake Forest Pitt series is a Friday through Sunday one. I thought both West Coast ones were not, but Cal and Georgia Tech start tomorrow night. Georgia Tech on the road, 4-0, run rule to Auburn, who I've heard is pretty good at baseball. Micah got to use your clip and cut it off, so you didn't look bad. When talking about the hitting if you throw strikes or good pitching, but interesting thing, Cal has announced that Otto Espinoza is going to start tomorrow night instead of Oliver De La Torre, who's getting pushed back. Ethan Foley is the guy out of the rotation, so I'm not sure 100% what's going on there. Nobody's listed out, so I think Foley just got switched out for Otto Espinoza, but big part to big spot to put the freshman in. He did have a really good start. He's only had one other start. It was against San Diego. He went 7 innings, gave up 1 run, struck out 10. The kid's a stud. He's going to be a stud, but it's a tall task facing this Georgia Tech offense. I've got Georgia Tech winning this series, and it's frustrating because I feel like Cal is way better than 1-8, but I think they're about to be at best 2-10. They very well could be 1-11, and I still wouldn't believe they're the worst team in the conference. That being said, they are 16th in my power rankings despite that, but I just feel so bad.
Thank you. God, thank you.
Why? Okay, let's calm down.
Well, the whole time I thought you were agreeing with Micah.
I do agree with Micah. They're not the worst team in the ACC. I'm agreeing with both of you. I'm a fence straddler. I probably should have said fence sitter because the image I'm getting of a French straddler is very uncomfortable.
Can Micah and I have a moment and resolve this? Can Micah and
it's
I
not
resolve
okay. This sure.
We can agree that Cal is better than what the record says that it is, but Virginia Tech has had the tougher schedule and the better wins.
I think Virginia Tech is worse than their record says. But yes,
I mean, they have a win against Virginia. They have a win against Georgia Tech.
All right, it's resolved. Nick, what's your topic, or what's your pick here?
No, he does not get to come in here and say that Virginia Tech's had the tougher schedule.
Yeah. Did you see who they played in Arlington? Come on,
are we power ranking based off of ACC, or are we power ranking on the fact they got run ruled in 3 games?
I'm power ranking based on
I want to screenshot that face. Micah looks both perplexed and angry.
The same weekend they were busy getting run ruled by teams in Arlington, Cal was winning series against UC Irvine, who was receiving votes that weekend.
They went on the road and did that. That's pretty impressive.
And then if we want to get into the ACC schedule, North Carolina, probably the second, third best team in your power rankings, right? Boston College. Where are they currently, Nick? Are they top 25 and in the top 5 of your power rankings? Yeah, that would be correct. Wake Forest, another top 25 team in most people's eyes, right?
Not mine.
They were when they played them.
Yeah, and that was their first win in the conference. Virginia Tech.
Tech just lost the series to Stanford.
Virginia Tech has a win over Georgia Tech and Virginia, who is top 10.
One win each.
You said tougher schedule. Don't backtrack now. You said tougher schedule.
I'm not backtracking. Who's backtracking? I'm not backtracking.
It's the worst team on that schedule, and it's not even close.
I hate both
but they played like the top.
It's not even close.
Consistent top 5 teams in the league, and they have a win over both.
Who won
of them.
the BC Virginia series?
BC.
Who played BC? Who didn't? Who played Virginia?
They have a win over Virginia and Georgia Tech. They've had the harder overall schedule. They have series win. They have an ACC series win.
Nick, can I say, isn't there a place that has the strength of schedule that we can just solve this without going back and forth?
Yeah, there is.
Otherwise, this could be argued for hours.
Yeah. We should look.
I like how Nick's like, dang it. So anyway, Kaylee and Dom are both taking Georgia Tech. For anyone who really wants to hear what Dom, Listy, and Kaylee, obviously Kaylee does not in this case have to legally take Georgia Tech. So that's an objective pick from Kaylee. Nick, do you want to make a pick here?
Yeah, sure.
Can I say something first?
Oh my God, we're so close.
You know,
What?
Yeah, go ahead.
Nick, you said that Virginia Tech has had the tougher schedule, and you know what? I don't know how that's correct, but because I would argue that North Carolina and Boston College are better than Georgia Tech and Virginia are. The combo of those two, but regardless, I will give you only because they have the series over Duke. That's the only reason why I will allow it. I will allow you saying that Virginia Tech is better, but my brother.
As of now, I'm not saying Cal is going to be the worst. Virginia Tech could very well be the worst when it's all said and done. I just go based off of what has happened.
Oh, wow.
Which is that Cal and Virginia Tech have the exact same record. Got it.
Tougher schedule.
Okay.
Do you want to kiss and make up?
Monty put out the book is good.
Yeah,
Anyways,
I know. He's had that book up for like 2 minutes.
Cal, unfortunately, is going to see the wrath of this hot Georgia Tech team, and I will not pick a sweep out of respect for my brothers, but Georgia Tech does take the series 2 of 3.
I will go Georgia Tech 2 of 3 too. I do think that.
But I thought Virginia Tech had that special win over Georgia Tech. But Cal's going to get one too now, right?
It's a week-to-week thing, like I've been saying since Monday. So Georgia Tech will win the series. I do believe travel could catch up to them somewhere at some point. So we'll see. But Tech should win this 2 of 3. You were reading while I was predicting.
Yeah, I wrote it down, though. I got you written down for Georgia Tech.
Thanks.
We're good. You made your pick before started rambling on. But, yeah, everyone going Georgia Tech. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. Clemson at Stanford.
Oh, God, this is tough. Up, guys.
I will say Dom Listy has picked Clemson in a sweep. No surprise there. And Kaylee has also gone with Clemson, no sweep. So
you don't go to the sunken diamond and figure it out. What?
Yeah, I mean, and maybe Stanford's figured it out. I do like the Stanford lineup. I hope they still start to figure out the pitching a little bit more, but Clemson's reeling. It's going to be interesting to see. I mean, I question the thought process of a non-con as you're flying out west. A non-con against Wake Forest right before you fly out. I'm presuming early tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
I love the non-con. I love it for in terms of I just question from
logistically it does make sense.
Yeah, and I love it as a fan that there's a non-conference Clemson versus Wake Forest in Charlotte, but Wake Forest doubling it up as a midweek is a bit questioning. Obviously, it might work out for them, but Clemson doing it on their way out west when they've got a big conference series. But obviously, neither team. Well, Clemson certainly didn't anticipate being where they are right now in it being a big deal, and obviously they need this series. But Micah sounds like he was in the midst of making a pick.
Stanford 2 of 3. You don't go to the sunken diamond and figure it out. I think Stanford is slowly but surely figuring out their lineup. And you factor in again, Clemson just looks lost. It is it doesn't make sense anymore. Everything on paper says pick Clemson, but that has been every single week. All ACC series minus maybe Georgia Tech, right? But even then, you factor in the home environment, it didn't make a complete total. It wasn't insane to think Clemson could win that series, especially when they entered that series with 2 losses on the season. Mm-hmm. It is unbelievable. They just don't look very good. I don't think they know who any of their arms are. They're playing in a pitcher's park, so maybe that helps them. But also, I could argue that it doesn't help them because
defense hasn't been great.
Yeah. I'm imagining 2 drop pop flies by Clemson at this point with the way their defense is playing and the fact that we see errors like that all the time at the sunken diamond. And again, I like the obviously right, they're probably flying out of Charlotte directly to San Fran or San Jose.
Was that a little shot at Texas?
Yeah, it was.
I had to remember. I was like, was that against Texas to go to Omaha? It was.
It was. But at the same time too, I just don't understand why you're playing Wake Forest in a midweek like this, and then and they don't even really need it when they also play Monday against Santa Clara. So it's not they're only going out to California for 3 games. They're getting a 4th. But yeah, they desperately need this. If Clemson loses this, historically, teams in ACC play have to be what, Monty? You remember the number?
I'm not actually. Is it 15 and 15 or
16 and 14 to be?
Wow,
in.
15 and 15 is not good.
15 and 15 has gotten you in, but 16 and 14 is
right. You're safe. And Louisville was the exception a couple years ago, right?
Yeah, and Virginia last year was close based off percentage points. But
they were 17 and 11, I think, because or 16-11 because of the 3 missing games from.
So they should have been in. That they were the other exception to that rule. But
What left them out?
Actually, normally it's 17-13 is what it is the safe.
What left them out?
I don't want to get into the rules, but RPI.
That's
RPI.
what I was.
But and that's the thing is Clemson's RPI is at least saving them right now. But Wake currently has the bases loaded. I don't feel are kind of like dual screening like I am, but Wake currently has the bases loaded and has a chance to potentially put this run rule territory because there's now there's 11-4 with the bases loaded and 1 out.
Not good, Jim.
I mean, honestly, if you're Clemson at this point, maybe get run rule. Go save an arm, but get a little extra rest. But
save an arm, ride a cowboy.
Yeah,
nice.
I don't know, boss.
But yeah, I just don't. Maybe I'm buying in too much into what Stanford did against Virginia Tech, but I was actually shocked they won the series against Virginia Tech. Like, I did not. I thought Stanford was just like Clemson, dead in the water, and to win that series, to get the bats going a little bit. Again,
I like the lineup. It's just the pitching. I mean, if Trevor Moore and Torrin O'Haron can do that every week, which they haven't, so like they're pretty streaky up and down. They're capable of doing what they did, but like they're not nails every week. I'd be a little bit more confident, but the pitching staff. But I am going to wait to hear what Nick says.
I am also going to go Stanford 2 of 3. I think Stanford's catching Clemson at a very good time right now. Stanford getting, not an ACC series win, but, build confidence any way you can against Utah Valley. Going on the road, beating Virginia Tech, that is huge. You get to go home and you get to welcome in a Clemson team that's struggling a lot, pitching, hitting. They have to travel all the way out west to you. They're catching Clemson at a great time right now. So give me Stanford 2 of 3. The lineup also is really starting to feel
Teddy Talkheim. I mean, the numbers he's putting up.
He's been putting up numbers lately. He's been very good.
A lot of fun to watch. Rintaro obviously been pretty hot recently. I mean, again, I still think he should have to pay for the scoreboard. Ethan Hott's been hot. No, Court McDonald's going to be disappointed with me because I just can't see Clemson losing another series. So I'm going to pick Clemson. I don't feel great about it, and I feel like I'm letting down Court McDonald. But, it is what it is. All right, Virginia Tech at Miami. Micah's last – no, you cannot. Virginia Tech at Miami. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead, Nick.
Is it a not successful weekend if Clemson wins 2 or 3 against Stanford but drops 1 to Santa Clara? What would you guys consider that?
Bad.
But if they do what?
If they win the series against Stanford but drop the game against Santa Clara on Monday.
Ooh.
Assuming they do lose to Wake as well.
I think it's a neutral weekend. That's a really lame answer, but because you're winning that series is so important because I don't think Stanford's that great. And at this point, Clemson's entire season's still in front of them. I mean, if they figure it out on the weekends by winning against Stanford and can take a series against North Carolina the following week at home or win a BC series at home or go to Louisville and win a series, there's so much still in front of them that I think winning a series provides more momentum than losing on Monday to Santa Clara would. But, yeah, I don't know. I really feel like a 3-1 weekend is necessary. Road trip.
Yep. Good stuff. Good stuff. Virginia Tech at
sweep. I'm speeding it up for you, Monty.
I appreciate you. Nick?
This one's tough.
Are you kidding me?
Miami 2 of 3. I think home is going to benefit them.
All right. Love it. I'm picking Miami as well. So nice and easy. Virginia Tech's got to fight the Mark Light magic. It's tough. All right. X Factors. Who wants to start with a player?
Not me. Give me a second.
I always forget this segment, and it bothers me.
I will start. I picked Florida State to go on the road and beat Virginia. I'm going to go with Hunter Carnes as my X Factor, the catcher for the Florida State Seminoles. He's going to have to come up big. And if he comes up big, they can pull off the upset because that's how X Factors work in the gospel according to Micah. And also
You're on a
probably,
heater, dude.
and then probably just the rules of definition of an X
You know what,
Factor.
Monty? I'm going to cheat because it's not really cheating because it's all reliable, but also not all. But it's also not been used this year. Zion Rose, Louisville.
Oh, nice.
Back into the lineup. Tough series at Duke. Kind of a must-win in a sense.
Not cheating at all. Just decided to throw that out there to get people's attention, I guess. Nick.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Did I pick AJ Gracia already in conference play?
I don't think so.
I
need to go back and write down everybody so I know where we're at. But AJ Gracia, who had a grand slam, by the way. All right. How about our pitching X Factors? I'm going to go Brady Miller, BC Bird Ball. Man, I went with both top 10 series. Nice. Or excuse me, top 25 series, top 10. Top 10 in my heart.
Where do I want to go with this? Give me
Liberty or give you death.
Trevor Moore, Stanford.
Oh, I like it. All right, Nick.
Give me Ryan Marone this week against Riddell.
Love it. That's going to be our X Factors. We got Brady Miller for Boston College for me. We've got Trevor Moore for Stanford for Mr. Micah. We got Ryan Marone of NC State for Nick the Homer. That's going to do it for us here. We'll be back on Monday with a recap show. Obviously, Nick is going to try and be at the NC State Notre Dame game on Friday. I'm trying to be there as well. I haven't quite nailed down my order, but it's looking like Thursday night I'll be at Florida State and Virginia. Friday night it's looking like NC State Notre Dame, and then Saturday I will be watching some BC Bird Ball and my X Factor Brady Miller take on presumably Folger Boaz and the North Carolina Tar Heels in the potentially maybe a rubber match. Who knows? Maybe to salvage a series. Maybe not. Who knows? But anything else you guys got to add before we let the audience go? All right. We will see you guys. Make sure to follow us on social media. But until then, it just means less.